Hey Earthbites gang! So we're going to finally finish off our egg carton herb planters that we started a long time ago. We've had a lot of things going on since then, but they're doing really well. As you can see, they've all grown nice and big. We're going to get them in some planters today. So I'm going to show you two different ways that you can go about doing this. What you're going to need your plants that you grew. You're going to need some containers of some sort. You can get some cheap containers from the hardware stores, or you can use some old plant containers if you want. You're going to need some potting soil. I've got some extra potting soil back here as well. And you're going to want a couple of spoons or small shovels. I find spoons make really good small shovels, so we're going to use these spoons today as well. So let's get started. All right, so you've got to take the egg cartons apart. We're obviously not going to take this whole thing and plant it straight into the garden like that. These plants need to be spaced out. They need some room. So we're going to rip each cell apart. And if you've been keeping them watered really well, they should come apart nice and easily. You want to make sure that where the plants are tangled up, that you're being very careful. We're just going to rip that one off. Untangle these plants. There we go. We've got out our nice little cell. So the first method I'm going to show you how to do here, we're going to do that in this pot over here. And that's going to be like if you have your own garden at home where you want to plant these in your garden, or you've got a pot that's full of dirt already. The second method I'll show you is if you're starting with a new pot, and it makes it a little bit easier. Alright, so for this one, we've got our pot is already full, so what we need to do is we need to make a hole for these plants to go into. You want to be able to bury the entire egg carton in there. So let's make a nice deep hole. Keep the dirt out to the side. And we can fit a few in this pot. We can probably fit about 4 in this pot. So just like we were planting other transplants in some of our other transplant videos, we're doing it in a similar way. We're going to hold the plants up. We're going to fill in all around them. You want to make sure none of that egg carton is showing, because that can actually pull some of the water out of the soil and cause it to evaporate into the air. So I'm going to get 4 more in this pot, and we'll see how it looks when I'm done. Alright, so here we go. I've planted parsley in this pot. I've got 4 different parsleys, and they'll actually, as they grow, they'll fill up the whole pot. You're going to want to make sure you water it, watering the soil, keep the soil nice and moist. And as these plants get bigger, you can start to break off individual chunks of parsley to use in some of your favorite recipes. Parsley is great in an omelet. That's one of my favorite places to use it. All right, let's take a look at the other method, and we'll go to do some basil and some dill. Alright, so here we can see I've separated all of the herbs that I want to plant. I've got my basil here, I've got my cilantro here. If your pots are a little dried out and you don't have roots coming through the bottom, you can try and open them up a little bit by ripping a small hole. I actually have roots in this one, so I don't want to disturb them. Most of these have some roots, and the paper started to fall apart, so the roots will penetrate anyways. It's almost safer to just leave them as it is. Now what we're going to do with these ones is we're actually just going to place them in the dirt where we want them to go. And then what we'll do is we'll fill them all up afterwards. I'm bringing in some help for this one right here, so we'll let's cut away and we'll show you how to do this one. Alright, so we've spaced out our plants the way that we want them. Now all we have to do, we push them into the ground just a little bit. so they stay standing up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fill this whole area with soil to cover the egg cartons. The same time you're filling it with soil, you want to make sure that you're holding up the plant out of the way so that you don't bury any of the leaves. There we go. We've planted all of our herbs out in 2 different pots here. Like I said, you can do this in your garden if you'd like. I like to do it in pots, keeping my veggies and my herbs separate. Some herbs, especially like oregano or thyme or mint, they'll actually take over your whole garden if you put them in your garden. So I just like to keep my herbs and my veggies separate in 2 different spaces. Make sure you're giving these lots of water. They also want to be in a nice sunny location. Things like basil, cilantro, dill even, come from warmer climates, so they want to have a lot of sunlight to them. And make sure you're giving them lots and lots of water. Keep the soil nice and moist. Best time to water is first thing in the morning. You guys had some great luck with your herbs as well, and you're checking out all of our other videos on our YouTube channel on transplanting and some of the great recipes that we've been sending your way. See you guys again really soon. Take care for now.